Hello, everyone. This is our second time together, and I'm like, we gotta do it. It's like 5 p.m., so it's pretty early for us. And is this better or the other one is better? Because my veil is actually not symmetrical right now. So I don't know. I'm really not great at wearing my veil. Feel this one better, right? So yesterday was late at night, and I want to say something about the alien stuff that we are encountering right now by the government. And it's hmm, pretty chill. Like it's not as great as we thought it would be, but it's there. Like we can have confirmation now that alien exists in a way that possibly not we thought. And I also, what do you call it, excited about the movie from Steven Spielberg about the disclosure. That movie is going to take people's heart because that is exactly what happened. But it's different. It's not like a newscaster was actually being channeled forcefully like that. It's not happening in that way. Because most people who channel, well, sometimes people do speak languages that they didn't even know at first, but because they are connected to the divine, to this alien, they sometimes speak it. And I sometimes spoke words that I don't even know. Sometimes I just tap into the collective and I tap into my guides and I tap into the frequency and I speak the word that I have no idea what's the meaning about, but it fits perfectly to whatever I understand. And when I search for it, it does that. So that's the great part. But here we are, about to talk with the alien, about to talk about the alien. And I want to say this beforehand is that I am not the best source to actually speak about it, but I do have some experiences where I was connected to a past life that is about the alien twice, not just once, twice. So I had it when I was asleep. I was woken up in a dream, and there was a body laying beside me, a male. It was really tall being. And then there is someone else at the end of my bed looking at both of us. And I awake and I'm like, what is this? Why am I here? And I use fear because I don't know what that is. I'm just like, okay, we are human. We are capable of using fear as the gateway. So I use that to exit that dream. And when I wake up, I am right where I sleep, but there is no being. So whenever I have this, the colors, the filters that I'm seeing through my own physical eye is changing into bluish, which is like, I don't know what's happening. Am I being crazy right now? But I see that thing and I'm like, there something is happening. I don't know if the frequency is so dense or am I just sensitive for it to happen? But then I see this thing to be like in my space with the blue filter. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. But with spirit, the manifestation with spirit is different. It's just like I'm using my regular eyes and I'm like seeing the things the way I see it, but then it manifested itself and I catch it. So with spirit, there are speed of how you actually catch them because they're moving so fast because they're in different dimension. But with alien, my eyes change. The way I see things change. And I don't know why that is like that. So I still have no explanation about that. But the second time I met alien was when I was meditating. I was meditating and I asked the universe, as usual, bring me something that is really relevant for me right now. And I was connected to the time when I was in the ship with my body near the door, and it was sitting there on the floor, soulless. I don't know if it's dead, but it's not moving, and it's like a freaking doll that is just not alive. And I'm like, why is it here? I don't know. So, and then I see the being that it was at the end of my bed in front of the cockpit, and I'm like, that being seeing me seeing that being, and then I'm like, I want to ask why, but then the the scenery change, and then I get pulled out because I'm like, I wanna interact with you, but then I get pulled out and I never get the answers to why am I having this connection to begin with. So that is the two experience that I have with alien. Well, the liked the spirit, my that was just the spirit. But sometimes people understand that alien has the light body, and sometimes they visited other beings through that light body, which is like just the sparkles, like light floating around somewhere. And sometimes I saw that, but I never thought of it as an alien. It's just that the spirit is somewhere there. That's another part. But alien is is a big part right now because they're going to reveal themselves in this world, in this reality. So the world is changing to a degree where nothing in the old will make sense. And I have this inclination since 2020, 2022, 2021, around after 2020, because I'm just like hearing this thing 2027, 2027, 2027. It's like keep ringing in my head, and I don't know why it's like that. I just assume, and I sense the frequency itself that the, what do you call it? That what is going to, what will happen in 2027 is so big that even I can't comprehend what will happen, because it was really out of the timeline. We weren't supposed to have it this fast. We were supposed to have it over 2028, but things moving so fast that it's actually moving closer to us, which is like the closest is 2027. It's a starting point. That's the thing, is that when change happen, it will happen in such a slow motion that you probably going to think that is the world going to end, is the world is going to, like, we are going to hell, everyone else is that is here going to hell. And I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't believe in hell and heaven to begin with. But if you think it from that lens, it's possibly because you haven't integrated all the duality, the contradictory part of yourself, which is the next thing that I want to bring up. Because when we enter the 2027, the things that will be challenging the most is actually integrating everything that we knew to what is coming, because they are so contradicting to each other that you will see like everything in the past is a lie, everything in the future is scary. So neither both are good. So you need to have a sane mind to understand, where am I standing in this? Like, what am I doing here? Why is this thing called, what do you call it? Reality changing so much? And why I'm feeling like I'm suffocating because I don't know where to stand. But essentially, what is happening is because you are asked to integrate it to the new you. Who you were, we're not going are never going to be sustainable for the future you, because the future is extensively different than what you thought, and people can't handle that differentness. And if you haven't integrated yourself in a really not dramatic, radical way of understanding, I'm here as myself. I'm not here as a vessel of the religion, of the culture, of the community. I'm here as myself. I'm powerful enough to know where I stand. I'm powerful enough to know that I'm here to be the flow of what this universe is asking me about, which is like your identity. And your identity is not dictated by someone else. But people haven't go into the route of freedom yet. I have the biggest assumption that no one in this world know what freedom truly is. At some point in time, they still living in a limitation. They are still living in duality. They are still conforming. They are still not trusting. So there's not fully in the fifth dimension, which is like fifth dimension is simple, it's fun. There is nothing bad about it. They just understand that something happened because something needs to happen. If it's bad, if bad things happen, it was because it meant to be happening. It is meant to happen. So they never judge, to be honest. That's the first thing. Is like when you are rising higher from where you are to the next level of consciousness, of awareness, is that you cannot judge. You cannot be triggered because you are containing other people, other experience inside of you, and you are accepting that experience as yours. So that is the part that I feel like I haven't seen anyone talk about. And I have found it in my own life's work that that is the thing that I'm going to bring in this world, in this space, in this reality. There are channelers that absolutely channel the people, the beings that is out there. It was a lot higher up than where we are. But what they are channeling is not grounded enough in the way that I understand how this world works. They only say like, well, rise higher. Well, choose this. Well, have this going on. And I'm like, people don't know how to do that. If you can explain it in a more practical way, we will understand. But they are skipping the stage, the phase, the explanation, the understanding of how to get there because they are what I used to have. What I also used to have is that they are just do it. They don't need process. They don't need to have the steps. But if you are having yourself to rise to a place that you've never been, there are some wobble happening that you don't know how to navigate yet. And you need some guidance to actually know, oh, this is the practicality of how to rise yourself into the next level, which is what I found. And I can't wait to actually tell, like show and share this thing that I got. But I also need to understand that the process to actually get there is a lot of works for me. If you understand what I understand, it will take you at most 4 months to transform whatever it is that you have integrated, heal it, like walking the path. It took you 4 months. If I'm with you, that's the problem. So if you're doing it yourself, like how I did it, it's actually took you around 2 to 4 years. And 2027 until 2031 is probably where you're going to integrate everything. But in that time, if you haven't done any work to understand that you are powerful, you are here for a reason, you are here not alone, you are here with everything that is with you, then the future is going to be such a challenging moment because no one understands how you live your version better than yourself. But if you are not ready to change, then that is the biggest problem, sadly. I mean, I can't wait to actually share whatever that I have, everything that I have. It is such a compelling and fulfilling idea to actually never judge, never get triggered by anything, and just like have the best version of your life in the best way possible. And there is also Matthias, and I want to talk about Matthias. If you are into spiritual community, you absolutely know Matthias. So Matthias is a unique soul who remembered every single reincarnation that he has over being a human. And that is unheard of. I myself only like remember 4 to 5. I don't remember all of the connecting soul family that I experienced in this life, in this version of human. But what he got is actually everything that he had living in the past to who he is right now is the integration of everything. Is that he is here as the soul who remembered, but he is here as the soul who share all of that integration. And he did what I did right now, which is like, okay, today I have this going on. How do we navigate it? How do we actually transform it and understand it in such a high frequency that we don't actually get triggered anymore and we get to heal and move from this space? And he has such an incredible story. I don't want to say the knowledge because the knowledge is so personal, but his story is such a intriguing one because what he did is actually what I am doing, but I'm doing it in this lifetime from the beginning to an end, the integrating part. But yeah, that's the point. Is that I like I it is this live stream is actually getting me fired up. Like I can't wait to share everything that I knew and will know. Absolutely. Like I have integrated many part of the business that what if I just share everything in this live stream and I don't get to like do my work in in my main channel? Well, there's also another person who is in the spiritual community. Her name is Lori Ladd, and she is I found her in 2014, no, 2016 to 17. And I found her because I was so lost with my spiritual gift. And I'm like, I was asked to get back on my gift. And I'm like, okay, let's find someone who is can like resonated with this thing that we have. And I found her and her story and her knowledge is actually sharing everything. She shared everything that she knew in her video, like in the old video, and then she write a book. And I'm because I know what the book is all about. Even right now, I'm like really intrigued to read it, and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with you sharing all of what you know because if the person who heard it wants to work with you, then they will come to you. Just like how I still want to actually buy Lowry's book. It's really interesting book. It's about how dimension are created, how dimension are separated, and how we are experiencing them all in on Earth. Because if you are rising higher, it doesn't mean that you will never experience shadow. It doesn't mean that you never experience suffering, sadness, anger, frustration, doubt. You still experience those things, but you understand how to navigate it. You understand how to take the most out of it without feeling the poison that is in that experience. That is being in higher frequency is about. You understand everything. You are containing everything. You're not neglecting, you're not ignoring, you're not abandoning some part of that. You just like, okay, I got this. I know what this is. And that's what I want people to experience through my work. Whether it's through this live stream or whether they are working with me personally. So yeah, I can't wait for 2027. I don't know about you, but if you are here to experience more of this life, you gotta rise higher. Let me know what you got from this live stream. I will see you tomorrow.